forward now.
Hello, people. Hi, everyone. We'll give people a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. I'm just going to start taking your names down so that we can do the draw. So I see Vanessa and Sabrina. What else do I see? Melissa, Steph. Okay. So I'm going to have a few questions for you. So you might have to unmute as we get going. But we'll just give it a couple minutes here. Wish I check this here. We have a couple of minutes yet. So as people are joining, I'm just going to write you down. There we go. I think I got everybody so far. Just going to run and grab a little thing to put these in. Serious. Okay. All right. Can someone just unmute just so I know that you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I can hear you guys. Just checking. Oh, hi, Raven. Are you at the rink? That's awesome. That's dedication. Okay. All right, we are at 6:30, so we are going to get started. And I just want to welcome all of you. My name is Angie Klotz. I'm a senior sales director here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And I got the topic tonight of bookings. And I think that's really funny because it's not one of my favorite things to do. But we're going to go into this, and I just want to share some things that I know And, you know, if there's any questions or things that come up, please don't hesitate to stop the bus if you want me to. So I just want to start by saying, like, how do you feel? And so this is the part you might have to unmute for. How do you feel when you have no bookings on your books? Does anyone want to share how you feel when you got 0 bookings?
Not very productive.
Not productive for sure.
Discouraged.
Discouraged, yeah. What else? How do you feel about your business overall?
Scared, nervous.
Scared and nervous. You're right. How do you feel when you open your day? You've got like 5 to 10 bookings in a week ahead of you. How does that feel? I saw a big smile on Vanessa's face when she saw that.
It's an amazing feeling.
It's an amazing feeling, like anything's possible, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and one thing that I know for sure, being in Mary Kay as long as I have, I know for sure that we are in charge of our headspace. And if for no other reasons to get bookings than to have better headspace is the best reasons to have reason to have bookings. No bookings is when you start telling yourself lies. And I'm really good at telling myself lies when it comes to being in a, you know, you just don't wanna. And so you start thinking like, oh, I don't know, like maybe this isn't for me, or, you know, maybe people don't really want Mary Kay. Maybe they just want to go to like Sephora or something, or, you know, maybe like, you know, people don't really want to do parties anymore. Like they're just sort of like, that's not really the thing anymore. Like people are too busy. They don't want to do parties. And we start telling ourselves all these lies. And I know they're lies because, first of all, one of the best things about Mary Kay is that we give personalized service. And you cannot get that the same in any department store. I don't care how good you are. That department store is not going to remember your children's names and what you bought last time and all of that the way we are. They're not going to have the like unlimited return policy. And you know what? People do still like having parties. I feel like now with even more people out there that don't, like we're in such a technology world, right? And if we want to, we don't really even need to necessarily see people very often. And Oprah Winfrey said that women meeting with other women actually releases endorphins in the body where it actually gives them this sense of peace and calming. So Oprah said we are supposed to get together as women, and why not play with makeup, right? So all these lies come up in our heads when we have no bookings. And if you like, is anybody on this call that absolutely loves doing bookings? Like that's the best part of your business. Unmute and tell me if you're one of those people. Oh, weird. Nobody's saying they love booking. Weird. Okay, you guys are all like me then. Mary Kay always said, if you're sad, book a class. If you're happy, book a class. Just book a class. And I see why, because as soon as you book one, all of a sudden possibilities are endless and we're ready to roll. I want to be honest with you. I've always been someone who's been very transparent. I've always been someone who's been very honest. I'm not going to tell you to do what I don't do. I'm not going to say lies, and I'm going to tell you that I don't like booking. I don't. I got lots of names, and I don't like booking. And sometimes I don't like booking so much that I will actually be in my bathroom and I will eye up the toilet and think, ooh, it's pretty important that I dust behind that toilet today. That's probably more important than me booking. Like that's how much most days I don't want to book, right? So if you think that the longer, you know, directors are here, the more it gets easy and they just love booking and then they want to do it all the time. And like people have to say like, stop booking, Raven, you've got too many. That's not what happens. So I'm just here to tell you that you might as well get used to the whole booking process because it's something that you're going to have to do, and it's something that might not want to do, but it's something that you're going to have to do. And Mary Kay is not unlike any other thing in the world. You know, if you want to have a baby, there's a process to that, and sometimes the process to that isn't very fun, but we got to do it anyway if we want to snuggle the baby, right? Same with our business. If we want success, We have to do things that are going to get us success, even though sometimes it's not so much fun. Okay, so you've got to find a way to just to get yourself going. So the one thing that I have to do when I'm going to get on the bookings is I'm going to build a little bit about on what Carol said last week. Carol did a fantastic job. Like, don't we have like, we've got Raven and Nadia and Carol, like the best. But Carol last week was talking about worst case scenario. And I love that, because sometimes we have to look at worst case scenario just to realize, you know what, I'm going to be okay. So if you start making bookings, and usually what comes into my head is that it's going to be like, oh no, I'm going to probably like get a hold of somebody and they're going to say no. Or I'm going to get a hold of someone and they're going to be like mad at me and hang up. Or I'm going to get a hold of someone and it's going to be like a really bad time. Like, I'm not going to know it, but like maybe someone's dying in front of them at that moment and I'm going to be calling. So I better not book, right? Well, again, lies you're telling yourself. So let's talk about the no. If you're worried about someone giving you a no, you're going to have to get used to getting no's, because generally we're going to get more no's than we get yeses. Okay. And I'm going to put it into perspective. As a newer consultant, when I started my business, before Mary Kay, I actually, I was a teacher, but I also, I wasn't teaching at the time. I was managing a couple of departments at Safeway. And one of the parts of our job was that we had to suggest a sell. So if someone came to the deli counter and asked us for 200 grams of shaved ham, we would give them their ham. We would say, you know, turkey's on sale. Would you want some turkey? And sometimes people said, yeah, it's a good idea. I'll take a couple hundred grams of that too. And sometimes people said, no, I don't really want turkey today. And you know what? Every time that happened to me, not once did I ever go to the back and cry and say, oh my God, I'm terrible at this job and she hates me as a person and I don't even know why I walk the planet. Yet in Mary Kay, sometimes we get our feelings hurt when someone says no, when the truth of the matter is the chick just didn't want turkey that day, right? It just wasn't a turkey day. Maybe they just had Thanksgiving. They've been eating turkey for a week. Maybe they just have a turkey allergy in their house. She didn't want turkey. Does it mean she'll never want turkey again? No, it just meant that that day, no turkey for her. And it wasn't to hurt my inner being. Same with Mary Kay. You might phone and you know, someone might be thinking, you know what? I just got a gift from my mom and it's a different skincare line and I really don't want to try anything else. Okay. They might just be not in, you know, they might have stuff going on in their life and now is not a good time. It just might not be right, but that doesn't mean that it won't be right somewhere down the road. Right? That they won't want to have an appointment down the road. So we just have to pretend it's turkey and say no and move on. And it doesn't hurt the core of who we are. It'll be okay. Okay. Second thing is, we don't want to call because what if someone hangs up on us? Well, first of all, they don't know who we are. They don't know what we look like. They don't know where we live. And so if they hang up on us, oh well. You know what I say when someone hangs up on me? Which honestly has hardly ever happened, is I say, fine, wrinkle then. And I just move on because they will, because we have awesome product and you just missed out. So see ya. But honestly, I've hardly ever been hung up on. So that's another one. And the other one is you've called someone at a bad time. And that has happened to me a couple of times. Like, where like I phone someone, I'm like, and I always ask, so is now a good time? And they'll be like, no, and they're crying. And I'm like, okay, how about I give you a call in a month or two? And I actually put it in my book to call a month or two. You guys, every single time that has happened, it has turned into a really great customer, because I phone them back and I say, you know, this is Angie with Mary Kay. I called you a month ago and I called at a really bad time and I apologize. And almost every time they say, no, it's okay. I shouldn't have answered my phone, right? It's people's choice whether they answer the phone. And if they choose to pick up when it's not a good time, that's on them, not on us. And so if we just make it be like, okay, no, the one lady, she was like, no, I just kind of got some bad news from the doctor and you just kind of called them. And I'm like, I'm sorry, how's it going? Asking about them, like, how is she doing? Right? It's a time for you to actually talk to them and connect. And sometimes they want someone they don't know to kind of tell things to, and it can be a real great bonding moment. And so if you phone someone and it's a bad time, A, it's their choice to pick up the phone, and B, just, you know, we can call them back another time and it can be a real time for you to bond with them. Okay. So, Okay, so that's the kind of the bad things that can happen. We're talking worst case scenario so that we can kind of, just address those. The second thing is what kind of good responses have you ever gotten when you phone someone? I know for me personally, you get on the phone and you're doing your bookings, and I always believe that the days we really don't want to do bookings at all are the days that we get our best blessings when we actually are, right? We get our best blessings because we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're being a woman of our word, and we're doing our thing, and we get the best results. And I have had people say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. I've been looking for a Mary Kay person. Well, here I am, just like that, right? I've had people say, like, you know what? It's really cool that you called. I was just talking to my girlfriend the other day saying, I need to start taking care of myself. So when you're thinking of it that way, I want to tell you, from my experience in this business, I have had those things happen more than I've been hung up on. So when we're going to, do our hour of calls or whatever you've decided to do, think about the best case scenario, not the worst, right? And even if you think of the worst, you won't die from whatever happens if someone says no, okay? I've also found that I need to kind of set a goal for myself. Some people like to do bookings daily, like they'll do 10, 20 calls a day. Some people like to take a night and do all their bookings in one night. Some people like to call, X amount of names, and then they get to be done. Some people want to get X amount of bookings, and then they get to be done. Some people want just a number of calls or whatever it might be, or a time limit. So you got to set your limit. So that I usually do, I like to follow the 21-day booking script. That's the one that I always do. I love it. I just kind of tweak the words, but I do 10 calls, and then that way I'm done. And I'm going to show you my secret. My secret to success as a new consultant, all the way into the director suite, and then all the way into a Cadillac. You got to look really close. So if you don't have your video on, you might miss it. Ready? Donna, Donna, Donna. Chocolate. Chocolate has been how I've come into directorship and how I earned a Cadillac. Because when I don't wanna, I always wanted this. And so when I'm a good girl and I do my job, I will line. I remember in my old desk, I had like a little shelf, and I would line up the Hershey's Kisses. I like more dark chocolate now. The older I get, the more dark the chocolate. And my daughter works at a high-end chocolate store, so now I look at really good stuff. But I would have my Hershey's Kisses lined up, and I'd be like, 5 calls and eating that, and that chocolate tastes so good when you've done your job. So you might have to reward yourself. Now, some of you might not be chocoholics like me, and you might be like, I'm gonna go, buy a Starbucks, or I'm gonna go and have a hot bath, or I'm going to go and play with the kids. Another way to get myself to do bookings and to just kind of strategize that way was I would set it up so that I had only a certain amount of time. And if I didn't make my calls or get the results or do what I was going to do, then I wasn't allowed to go watch my kids play soccer. That would just will kill me, because I loved watching them in their sports. So if I didn't do my booking calls, I had to get them done before I was allowed to go. And so sometimes it meant that mama was late because mama wasn't being a good girl. And so I just wanted to mention that you are accountable. You've got to hold yourself accountable. When you're working another job and they tell you to show up at 8:30 a.m., you're there. So now it's time to start showing up for you, because you get to design your own schedule. You get to work your business the way you want, but you've got to show up for you, not just for everybody else. And so whether it be magic chocolate treats, or whether it be rewarding yourself with something that doesn't make you have double chins, I don't know. Just find your thing. Okay. Like I said, I use the 21-day booking script. So let's talk about getting into the actual booking part of it. So what do you need? Well, first of all, you all know this. We need our date book. And I always circle my days where I want to work in Mary Kay in pink. One of the things you're going to want to make sure that you do when you're getting on the phone to book is when you want to work. The beauty, and one of the first things that everybody that's doing Mary Kay and doing well in Mary Kay says that they love most about doing Mary Kay is that they get to work when they want. So when I started this business, and I love that this business kind of grows with us as our family grows, and I think it's really cool. The directors that are leading this call, we have Nadia with a toddler, we have Raven with, she just sent her youngest to kindergarten this year, so she's like elementary kids. Carol and I have older kids, and between Chad and I, we actually have 6 kids. 5 of the 6 are teenagers and a 12-year-old. So we are all in different phases of life. And when I started Mary Kay, I was very, very pregnant with a 9.5-pound baby, and I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so I did almost all of my work after 7 p.m. because I played mama all day. We did play groups, we potty trained, we went to swim class, we did all of those things. And then in the evening, I would go off. Sometimes it was high-fiving my husband in the doorway, and I would go and do Mary Kay in the evenings, and they would be in bed. And I would do Mary Kay while they napped. I heard on a recording once in one of our CDs that one of the directors had said she worked when her kids were sleeping or gone. So that was afternoon naps, and that was after they went to bed at night. And that's how I started my business. That's when I did it, because my kids are the reason I do Mary Kay to this day. And I love the flexibility that gives me. But if you don't know when you want to work, it's hard to make bookings. So make sure that you've scheduled it out. I also want to break the myth in your head that everybody wants to have evening appointments. That was in my head, and I don't know if that was in my head because that's what I started out working the business in, or if that was just a little story I told myself. I don't know where that came up, but what I have found is that people will book when you have openings. Huh, who knew, right? So if you are someone who wants to work mostly evenings because you're like me when I started and had little kids, then you just say, okay, what evening, like these are the evenings, or what day do you have an evening open? You know, and if they're like, oh, you know, whatever, I'll say, okay, well, I'll give you my availability on the evenings I have open. So you book for the evening. Now, my lingo right now is, what day during the day are you free? And they'll say, oh, I've got a day off on Wednesday and I don't work Fridays. Perfect. On those days, I have this and this open. Which would you like? Right? So you're picking for your life. So if you don't like your work schedule, you better have a meeting with your boss, and you're the boss, by the way. So you can go and sit yourself down and have some lunch and complain to yourself about why you booked yourself when you did. Okay, so knowing when you're working is key. You need to have a script. Like I said, been in the business, working the business now for 14 years, and I still use a script. Sometimes I don't even look at it, but I have to hold it in my hand. It's just kind of like my little fuzzy blankie, I guess, of booking, but I have to hold it in my hand, and sometimes I read it and sometimes I don't. But I need to have it there. And then that way, if someone surprises you with something, then you can get right back on track. Now, if you are like me and you have kids, thank goodness not all booking is done by video, because my goodness, in the past, there have been some things happening and the people didn't know, but I certainly did. So if you have children, then it's really important to have a script, because World War III can be happening at your feet. And I think that sometime we should have like all the directors talk about your signals to your kids when you're on the phone. I'll show you mine. This is a secret, okay? So the kids, this always happened. The kids would come in because someone made the other one mad, right? And so they would come in, right? And I'd be like, and on the other line, I'm just talking. And then I would keep going on with my script, and I might have to look down. So I'm calling with some fun news. And if they're like, I'd be like, right? And we never got past 2. I don't know what was going to happen if I got to 3, but they knew from the mama voice, right? So having a script is really good, because then it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to get on board. And even if you're having to do gestures to those around you, right? And then of course, you're going to need to have some names. And where you get those from, totally up to you. Facial boxes is something that some people have done. I've done that just here and there throughout my past. I'm a girl who loves working bridal shows. I get the bridal show here in Saskatoon. I get the one in Lloydminster. I love doing bridal shows, and I get like a whole ton of names, because I give, we have a draw for the guests and we have a draw for the brides. So that way you're getting all the guests and the brides, and we hand out little treat bags with samples in, so they want to stop. So that's, I get tons of names from bridal shows. And I like to get referrals because then I find it's easier booking. So those are kind of the three main ways that I have, I've gotten my business going. If you don't like booking, and like, you know, ideally it would be so cool. Like I always think about this, like, what if my phone just rang every day? People are like, hi, Angie, I got your name from so-and-so, and I'd really like to book a class. I want to have 18 people there. You want to leave at least $3,000 when we leave. And I was like, okay, well, let's do that then. Like, that's my ultimate dream, Mary Kay, but the reality is that hasn't ever happened. So if you want that kind of thing to happen though, then it can somewhat, if you're good at your job. Like if you're good at connecting and if you're fun, like Carol and her big panties that she does, like that's so fun. And like all the, you know, just be fun at what you do, and then people are more likely to refer you. But they're not going to know that they should refer you unless you mention it, right? So at your appointments, make sure that you're just saying like, so if you know of anybody else who's like been complaining about their skin, or, you know, if you know anybody else who just really needs a break because she's got like crazy kids and she could use a, you know, break with some other women that are kind of fun. Or if you know of some women who, you know, come through a major life change and could use the little boost, like maybe one of your friends just lost a bunch of weight, or maybe she just had a baby, or maybe she just lost her mom, like anybody like that that could use a break, refer me. And when you refer me, I give you $25 credit on your account. And that we had our open house on Monday. And I think I came away with 3 or 4 referrals, just from people just were like, remember when you said that I would get some free stuff? Can I give you these names? And I booked all of them, all the names that I got. So that's really cool. So if you don't like booking, and they start phoning you, that's the best ever. I just need to do this on for time. Oh my gosh, we're going. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the script. Now, I've tried, tested, and true some different ways of booking, and I find that there's certain ways that get me better results than others. And I'm assuming you might be interested in that. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I use a 21-day booking script. If you do not have it, contact me, friend me on Facebook. I'll send it to you. There is a video, a YouTube video, 21-day booking script, Mary Kay, and they actually tell you exactly how to do it. So follow that. I'm not going to take the time to go through all of that. The top one here is cold leads. That's the one I've used the most. And as it's, you know, it goes on, I just picked your name as one of my winners from the blah blah show. You've won da da da. And so what I say is, I don't say I chose your name. I just chose your name as one of my winners from, you know, the bridal show. So you're probably wondering what you won, right? And then I wait till they say yes. So what you want is a skincare consultation with me, where we try some like cleansers and moisturizers and things, and then you get a choice. You get to choose between either trying a mask, or you get to do a little makeup lesson, like a basic makeup lesson. What's more up your alley? You know, getting them engaged, right? Actually taking the time to listen. And I mean, sometimes when we're nervous, we talk fast and we don't even let them, like they're trying to say yes, and you're like, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to tell you this, and they're trying to say yes, right? So just slow down, take a breath, and get them engaged by asking them questions. So then they'll say, oh, you know what? I think I would love to try a mask, and say, okay, that sounds great. And like go like that. And then I'll also say to them, so what you want is this, and you'll get a gift certificate from me that you can spend on anything you want when you're there. And then you know what? I've even got room for you to bring 3 friends. So if you have 3 friends you want to bring, they're totally free to come too, but only you get to go home with the free product, okay? And she's like, oh, okay. So yeah, and then what I do is I book the time, and it's usually I try and do most things in my home, or a Monday night, depending on. And so I say, okay, what I'll do is I'll send you a text with the confirmation of the date and time, and then my address, so that my address is in your phone. Is that okay? And she'll say, yeah. And I'll also send you a business card, because, you know, I know we haven't met. And so my business card has my picture on, so you'll know that it's me when you get here. And so then I do that. So I send it off, you know, excited to meet with you. This is the time and the place. Here's my address, a picture of my business card. And then I just say, I'll text you a day or 2 before to find out how many spots I'm setting for you. And then that's what I do. And it's just good. What I will do too is, if say they choose makeup, maybe, you know, 3 days before, I'll be like, hey Vanessa, I'll text her, hey Vanessa, we got, you know, new eye colors out. There's this Feel Fierce combo. Do you think you guys might want to try that? And I'll send a picture of it. And just something to just engage them and make sure that they remember, okay? But giving people a choice of date, a choice of, you know, what sort of appointment. Most of the time, they always do, they'll choose micro and skincare, which is what I want to do anyway. That's what I like because it's quick and it's not tons of product. I love micro because it made such a change in my skin and really helped. So it's the one that, I don't know if I just say it better, but that's usually the one that they pick. And then you go from there. Another thing that's really good right now, who here's loving the new hydrogel eye patches? Do you have them yet? Have you tried them? Yes, right? This is a way for you to go back to your customer base and book them and get them to bring friends. So my script for that is like, and it's so much easier, right? Because you've already got that relationship established. I'll be like, who is my customer that came? Oh, hey, Kristen, it's Angie calling. How are you? And she'll be like, good. It's now a good time. I always ask that. Now a good time. And she'll say, oh yeah, of course it is. I'm just like, I'm super, super stoked about a new product we got in Mary Kay. And I wanted to tell you about it because I know last time we met, you were talking about feeling like underneath your eyes wasn't the place that you were loving right now. We got these new hydrogel eye patches. They're helping with wrinkles. They're helping with puffiness, a little bit of darkness. The before and after pictures are really cool. Here, I'll send you a couple. And then right away, I'm like, I'll say, okay, open and see. And she'll be like, oh, wow. I'm like, okay, so I want to do a before and after picture portfolio of my people only. And I'm wondering if you'll let me use your eyes. And she's like, sure. So I had like tons of my people that came to the open house on Monday, tried them. And it was awesome. And then I do take pictures and then like, I mean, it's only this big that we actually put in the photo, but it's all my own people then. And it gets them going with it. So it's a way, because we still, like at those appointments at the open house, it's different, but generally when I'm booking those appointments, we're still doing skincare, we're still doing the patches, we're still, you know, doing their foundation match and stuff like that, but it's a reason to get them in front of you. And then I'll always say too, okay, and do you know of anybody else who might be a really good example for me? Like, is anybody else needing a little lift under the eyes that you know of that you could bring along with you? And when it's specific like that, like it's like the eyes or, you know, something like that, they're so willing to just, the one was like, yeah, you should see, what's her name? You've seen her son. You should see my friend Betty. Like she has like the biggest bags ever. And I'm like, should I tell her you said that? And she's like, no, I'm not gonna know. And so then we joke around about that, right? So I'm just making sure that you're asking, you know, who might want to join them and just making a party out of that. I love working through my customer base because they, you know, they're telling their people, oh, come see Angie, she's awesome. We have so much fun, right? So the bookings are more likely to hold. So that's kind of where I go from that. So I'm looking and I see that we've had some more people join. So we said we're going to do a little draw from the people that are on this call. So I'm going to be starting with writing down some names. Some of you I can't tell. Carissa. I don't know who Galaxy S10a is or iPhone. You guys know who you are? You can unmute and tell me your name. That'd be awesome. I can't see very good. Desiree. Okay, I feel, yeah, I'm going to go through the names. So all of our consultants that are on the call get to have their name in. I see Vanessa and Desiree and Carissa and Patricia. Sabrina, Steph, and Melissa. Did I miss anybody? Unmute and
Lisa Dotzler.
Lisa, how are you?
I just can't figure out how to get my face on there, but that's okay.
Just click on your thing. There's a little video on the bottom.
Yeah, I did, but it's not showing.
Won't show your pretty little face.
I don't know. I don't know how to make it work. That's okay.
Okay, if anybody else, if there's an iPhone and a Galaxy. If you guys want to tell me who you are, then I can put you in. Rosemary, are you one?
Marilyn.
Marilyn, okay. Anybody else I forgot?
Can you hear me?
Ruby? Is that
No,
right?
Caroline.
Caroline. Okay. Anybody else? Last chance. Okay. We are going to do a draw for all of you attendees. Thank you for being on this call. I hope I said something that might make a difference for you. Like I say, if you don't have the 21-day booking challenge, talk to your director. Most of the directors know what it's about at least, or you can send me a message on Facebook and I can send it to you. And our winner tonight is Sabrina. So Sabrina, you're gonna have to search me out on Facebook and give me your address so I can mail you something. I have a little prize ready for you that I will mail
Thank you.
tomorrow, but I just need your address. All right,
Okay.
so it's 7 o'clock. We did 6:30 to 7 on the nose. Good job, team. Thank you for being here, ladies. You have made a choice to be a part of a fantastic company, and I am happy to do this journey with you. So have a fantastic night, and next week is Raven. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.